Welcome. You are in the lab room. I'm your host, Lou. Thank you for joining me. Here to break down week number 7, San Diego Chargers, San Diego Superchargers, traveling out to Jacksonville to get a win. And that's essentially what it is when you play the Jacksonville Jaguars in the 2013 season. You're looking to get a win. San Diego Chargers, no different. They haven't won 2 consecutive games this season. So they're looking to do exactly that against Jacksonville. So let's break down the game quickly, talk about what I saw in this football game, and then we'll move on. So San Diego marches right down on a 13-play, 80-yard touchdown drive to start the game. Phillip Rivers, perfect on the drive, 6 of 6. They mixed in some run with Danny Woodhead and Ryan Matthews, and this drive was flawless. It's what want to do to a bad football team to start out a football game. If you want to dominate someone, put them out of the game early and set the tone and establish the tone for the game, that's what you do. 13 plays, 80 yards, 6 for 6 on the drive. That's what you do. That's the blueprint to do it right there. And so right away, they took the heart of the Jacksonville Jaguars in this game. The last thing you want to do is allow these guys to hang around and give them confidence. They're already at home. You don't want them to feel like they can win this game. So in this game, they went down, scored the touchdown right away. So big for the Chargers to do that. Mercedes Lewis rumbles down the field on a 26-yard gain, on a 33-yard gain down to the 26. Big catch. Mercedes Lewis is the guy that they need to get the football to more on this football team. He makes a grab, makes a guy miss. It takes off, breaks a couple of tackles, 33-yard gain down to the 26. So you're thinking, okay, now the Jacksonville Jaguars are looking to respond to the Chargers' opening drive touchdown. And at this point, you want to get something. If you're the Jacksonville Jaguars, you need to get on the board. Will it be a field goal, touchdown? You don't know. You just need to get something out of this drive. So you're feeling good about yourself. Chad Henne has got off to a nice start. You're in field goal range. Back-to-back sacks takes the Jags out of field goal range. And that, to me, is a microcosm of this Jacksonville Jaguars team right now. And in this season, why they aren't able to win more games or why they aren't competitive in a lot of their football games. That reason right there. You go down the field, you put yourself in scoring range, and on back-to-back plays, you can't get rid of the football. You can't throw it away. You can't throw it to a safety valve. You can't find a way to take a negative play and turn it into a positive play. On the first of these 2 sacks, Henne had a screen set up. I don't know if he thought that the screen wasn't going to work or if he saw a defender and he thought maybe he might pick the pass off if I throw it. But he double pumped. He pulled the football down and he took the sack. Now, if you saw a defender there that was going to pick the football off, then we'll take that. Eat the sack, eat the football, and play another down. But I didn't see a defender out there. I didn't see a guy stopping him from making that throw. Worst case scenario. If you see a defender there, you don't like what you see, throw it down at the foot of your running back. Don't eat a sack. And 2 sacks, you're out of field goal range. No points. Give the ball back to San Diego. And you've got the Chargers right where you want. It's 3rd and 20. You get a sack. And you're excited about that sack. And you get an unsportsmanlike penalty on 3rd and 20, which gives the San Diego Chargers first down. You give them that first down, they get new life. It leads to an Eddie Royal touchdown about 5 plays later. It's 14-0. At this point, if you're Jacksonville, you're done. Because you're down 14. You're not a team that can come from behind. You've had opportunities early in this game to slow the Chargers down. Haven't been able to do so. You had them on 3rd and 20. You gave them an unsportsmanlike penalty. You're not good enough to give the other team opportunities to withstand drives and keep going and see if they can score points. You're not good enough to give this San Diego Chargers team that can be explosive on offense more opportunities to score. You're not good enough to give them another chance to get a fresh set of downs to see if they can push the ball down the field and get in the end zone. They did that. You're down 14-0. Jacksonville gets the football on their second drive, and they get a field goal. But if they would have got at least a field goal after the Mercedes Lewis play, you're down 1 score. Instead, you're down 11. You're down 2 scores. And the problem I have with Jacksonville, on 2 drives, you had the football twice. On both drives, you are in scoring range, you only got 3 points to show for it. That's not good enough. You get in the red zone, you got to turn that into touchdowns. Okay, so you've been in the red zone twice, or at least on the outskirts of the red zone twice. You got to at least come away with 6 points. Keep yourself in the ball game. You're down 11. After that drive, San Diego takes over the football with 5 minutes left in the half. And what I'm basically saying is that they dominated time of possession in this first half, did the San Diego Chargers. I just talked about Jacksonville only having the ball twice in the first half. And both times they moved the football. It's not like they're going 3 and out and they're not sustaining drives. They're sustaining offense. They just don't have the ball enough. And the difference between the two teams, San Diego gets the football, they score a touchdown. Jacksonville gets the football, they move the football, they come away with nothing or a field goal. That's the difference in the ball game. San Diego gets the football, left with 5 minutes left in the half. And Phillip Rivers started 14 of 14 in this game. I mean, he was red hot. Jags had no answer for him. But he made a monumental mistake before the half. He tucked the football away and ran with 7 seconds left on the clock. They had no timeouts. He drops back at the 4-yard line. He doesn't like what he sees. He takes off. He thinks he can make it to the end zone. If you're going to sell out, then sell out. Dive, stretch the ball over the goal line, do something. He dove. He stopped. He didn't stretch the football out. He ended up getting tackled right at the goal line, shy of the end zone. Clock runs out. They don't have any timeouts. They miss an opportunity to put more points on the scoreboard. At worst, you're supposed to at least come away with a field goal there. Phillip Rivers knows better. He's a veteran. You can't have that happen. You got to get some points there. I'm pretty sure Mike McCoy has straightened that out with him. That won't happen again, but monumental mistake. Luckily enough for him, they're playing against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Really doesn't matter. So you go after the half. San Diego gets the football, and they catch a break. Gates fumbles inside the 5-yard line, yet it's a play that they decide to challenge. And if I'm Gus Bradley, I'm challenging this one, and I'm thinking I'm going to win because that football was out. And I didn't see any part of Antonio Gates' body on the ground, which would lead me to believe that this one is going to be upheld. The problem with this was on the field, it was ruled down by contact. So when they went to challenge, they needed to see irrefutable evidence to reverse this thing. They needed to see something definitive that said, hey, this guy isn't on the ground at all and the ball is out. They didn't have the angle, but if you piece all of the different angles together, there's no way that you come away from that saying that he's down. That should have been Jacksonville Jaguars football. But Chargers get a break. They end up getting a field goal out of it. So it's 17-3 at this point. Mike Brown had a huge game. And if you're Jacksonville, that's what you're looking at. This season is done. You're done in this season. This season is a wash. You're looking to develop talent. You're looking to acquire guys that going down the road, you can say, hey, he's a Jacksonville Jaguar. He's a Jacksonville Jaguar. He's a Jacksonville. Mike Brown is one of those guys. Cecil Shorts III is one of those guys. Justin Blackman, if he can stay out of trouble off the field, is one of those guys. You want to start accumulating these guys on the offensive side of the football. And Mike Brown had a huge day, over 100 yards. He was really solid in this game. 43-yard catch gets the Jags in the red zone. But again, these red zone woes continue. They have to settle for another field goal. And at this point, you're down 17-3. And you're struggling to score. San Diego is moving the football. Why are you even kicking a field goal here? If I'm your offensive coordinator, I'm going into the coach's ear. I'm going up to Gus Bradley and saying, hey, a field goal isn't going to do us any good here. We're not scoring enough points. We need to come away with 7. And let me call another play coach. And Gus Bradley at some point has to put up more resistance. He's got to be able to say, all right, hey, we're going down guns a-blazing. Not with another field goal attempt. And you kick the field goal, you go to a 17-6 deficit. But again, you're not scoring points. You're not scoring touchdowns. What's there for you to hold up on and say that, hey, we're going to be able to come back in this game kicking field goals? You need touchdowns. I wasn't a big fan of that. And to me, that was it. You basically conceded this game when you decided to kick another field goal after that Mike Brown. You had momentum. You get the big play. Build off of that. Go for it on 4th down. You kick a field goal. And to me, that said that, hey, we're not going to win this game. And a solid game by the Chargers. They went out and did what you're supposed to do to a bad team on the road. They went out early. They set the tempo. They scored points. They played solid defense. They didn't allow them in the end zone. They didn't turn the football over. San Diego did all of the things you're supposed to do to a bad team on the road. They quieted the crowd early. They didn't allow Jacksonville to make a lot of big game-changing plays. Yeah, they had some huge games. Mercedes Lewis had a big game. Just talked about Mike Brown in a huge 43-yard game. But they didn't allow these guys to get in the end zone. They bogged down, did the Jacksonville Jaguars when they got in the red zone. And it ends up being a solid win for the San Diego Chargers, their second in a row. They're now 4-3 on the season as they take this one 24-6. Big win for the Chargers. You go on the road, you get it done against a team that you're supposed to beat. Sometimes those are the hardest ones to get. The team that you know you're supposed to beat. Everyone's telling you that you're going to beat them. It's good to go out and do exactly that. And that's what the Chargers did. Big performance from Matthews, 400 yards. He's getting better. I'm starting to see the consistency that you've been looking for as a as a San Diego Chargers fan. Nice game to see Mr. Eddie Royal get back in the end zone after the first 2 games, 5 touchdowns. You thought this guy fell off a cliff. He's back. He scored in this game. He had a solid performance. Danny Woodhead, as always, solid game. Phillip Rivers, as efficient as you can get in this football game. No turnovers. Only about 4 incompletions. He was as good as you could get in this football game. Chargers get it done, 24-6. And if you're Jacksonville, it's another one of these ho-hum performances. You go to 0-7 on the season. Not a good football team. At this point, you're just building for the future. You're looking to see which guys are Jacksonville Jaguars. In this game, I think you might have found out that Mike Brown is a guy that'll be around for a while. He's a guy that can be a playmaker for you, but not a lot to hang your hat on if you are a Jacksonville Jaguars fan. That's going to do it for me for this breakdown. I thank you for joining me. Come back as I break down every game in the National Football League in week number 7. I'll see you back here in a little bit. And remember, if it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the lab room. See you next time.